Behold, a cold open. Joe said some shit before we started recording. He wasn't even saying it to me. He was just saying it to himself. And this is just... This
Having
is
a kid, I cannot... Former guesto and dear friend of the show, and dear friend of mine, Erica, said having a kid makes you stupid. She's so right. And last time I mentioned this shared Erica wisdom, I got called out at her house for not qualifying her full name because she is ego-driven, and I respect that. Mm-hmm. So this is Erica Dreisbach, noted Chicago literary celebrity. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think legend is honestly
legend is good.
Better. Yeah, legend.
Yeah, she's so right. And my example is, I heard like the Beach Boys song "Surfing" like once.
Surfing USA, to be clear. Surfing USA.
Yeah, and like now, do you know how many times I've sang "Everybody's going surfing"? Surfing's really gay to my son, just like so, and it's not even like, oh, I'm like he. It's just like it's just the words are just coming out of me because you just have to constantly talk. And Winnie will sometimes be like, "Hey, that song you're singing, like, what was the origin? Like, what was the problem?" And sometimes I don't have an answer. One of them, I'd be like, "Okay, so there's an episode of The Simpsons." Where he gets a snowplow and he has a song called Mr. Plow. So he, instead of it being about a snowplow, it's, hey, Mr. Guy, there's my guy, yeah, Mr. Guy. And yeah, every time he wakes up from a nap, I sing that.
Welcome again is Mr. Guy.
I gotta stop swearing.
That is, I will say, as someone who's had a lot of friends who have babies that I go and visit, there is like a wonderful period where like, oh my God, what a cute baby. Oh, we're so happy for you. What a new chapter of your life. And we still get to say fucking shit. We can say fucking shit all we want. It's fine. And then like as the child ages, you're just like...
The brain starts to form.
Yeah, it's like, it was so frigging funny when you said that stuff earlier, and it's just like, oh no, that's wrong. Surfing's really gay. That's not even a swear.
No, but it's also like not. It's just stupid. It's just like I'm just goofing. It's not clever. It's like 6th grade stuff, and unfortunately, like, it's like how I putter around the day with it. I've had him for 2 days because he had Monday off because of it's either the evil holiday or the evil holiday that was renamed to be like cooler, but like the bad stuff happened. And then the other day we had to do a doc appointment, so that was a lad and dad day. So it was a lot of me just talking to him, just explaining the world to him, and then we did Chrono Trigger lo-fi. Yeah, it's his brain is just like, hey, I'm your dad, I'm gonna protect you, I'm gonna be singing Surfing's really gay to you 23 hours a day, and for that other hour, buddy, it's Chrono Trigger lo-fi. Your brain is going to be so good.
Did I ever talk on the fucking podcast about how I went to the video game music concert and saw Kingdom of Zeal, which is like one of my top musical one of the top things I've ever seen musically live, bar none. It's because it was so silly because there was 4 acts before Kingdom of Zeal. The first 3 were like obviously local amateurs who seemed very amateurish, but it was fun because it's video game music. Everyone's really passionate about what they're playing because it's like, I love these fucking beep boop tunes. And then there were these 2 guitar guys who did like extremely well arranged like 2 classical guitar remixes of video game music, and like they were clearly virtuosos. But with every song is 2 classical guitars, it's a very limited palette. And then Kingdom of Zeal came on and was a full-on like Return to Forever Mahavishnu Orchestra style jazz fusion band that played the Chrono Trigger songs, and it was like, it blew my entire skull off. And they said they were going to the studio to record an album, and I don't know when that's going to come out, but it's going to be the best. We got off topic here, which was that surfing's really gay. It's 2024. Gay is not pejorative anymore. It's actually like hip.
Yeah, and surfing is hip.
These days, nothing's cool unless it's gay. Who is the biggest artist? Chappell Roan. If you're straight and you listen to her, they kill you. I haven't heard any of her songs because I'm afraid. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Anime Sickos. It's the podcast for geniuses and the only podcast where we take a look at the four pillars of modern misery: anime, gaming, posting, and jobs. I'm Tom, an anime sicko.
I'm Joe, an anime sicko. We are the only podcast, but if there were other podcasts, this is the only one where both guys don't have a job.
Hell yeah! I got no job, and you know what I've been doing instead of working for money is working for free. To the point where, did you know, we made a fucking little video game. Turns out there's this game engine that's for illiterate babies called Nerat.
Not a critique. We're stupid. It's great for us.
Yeah, no, it's like we're the babies. Like,
yeah. Goo goo gaga.
And you can make basically Disco Elysium likes. If you're not aware of what Disco Elysium is like, you see a picture of where your guy is, and there's a piece of receipt paper down the right side of the screen where there's a bunch of text, and every once in a while you get to choose some things to say, and that's the game. And we made one.
We made this because Tom finally caved and started watching Deadwood, which is such a gift to me.
Great show.
It's perhaps one of the most Joe-coded shows of all time because it's like really well written. The characters are amazing. They will never stop saying cocksucker. I love it. But talking with Tom, I was like, it'd be a fucking stupid, I guess, sketch. And then we were like, oh, wait, no, actually, this could be something even worse. A video game. But it's just like, the game is like 3 minutes long, okay? It's, you are you. Congrats, you're in the game. And it's us, the sickos, with Solstar and Sheriff Justified, leaving for Deadwood, and we find out that we're all setting up a hardware store, so we got to figure out what we're doing. It's 2 minutes long. The point is... The point is, one, are we capable of using this game engine? We are the apes that found fire. That's what this is. Do you understand
Yeah.
me? Like, it doesn't matter that it's 3 minutes long. It's that, like, we shouldn't have fire.
It's us learning that, like, oh god, the fire, when you put a little stick in it, you can take the fire with you. The fire comes out of the pit. This changes everything. It's basically, you say game, and it's not a game. It's a sketch.
It's a button press.
Yes, there's no branching paths. You never even get to choose between two things to say. Every time your guy says something, there's only one choice. So again, there's
room to grow for sure.
Yes, room to grow is the key here, because our goal in making this game was not let's make a great game. We did. That just happened because we're the greatest at everything and are geniuses. Yeah. But the goal was, like, let us test out a test version of this game engine and test out distribution so that when we do it for real later, we know it all works. And to that end, distribution, you can play this game. We might make it public at some point, but right now it is only for patrons. So if you want to play it, you're going to go on down to patreon.com/animesickos. That's patreon.com/animesickos and give us money. And there have actually been two people who have given us money since we have released the game. If you do that thing where you make a pledge, download the game, and then cancel your pledge before you actually get charged, I won't know. Just saying. I mean, I'll be more happy if you pay us, but if that's what you need, we won't tell the cops. But our two new patrons, first one's going to be Hipolita Fernandez. I remember Hipolita from before because I had to ask how it was pronounced, but this time there's an accent mark on the O, which makes it so clear. Thank you, Hipolita.
Thank you.
And then this is one of them Australianos. They're giving us kangaroo bucks. This is Holy Mountain Man.
Thank you, Holy Mountain Man. And just let me say, the Australian mind is intriguing.
It is. I don't understand what they go on down there. They put an O at the end of everything.
Their slang is on another level. It's like Cockney words, but you can tell what the fuck they're saying.
Yeah, it's funny. They're like, so the joke is like, do British people know they don't have to do the voice? But Australians, I think they, even if we were to extend that joke to them, It's like if they are just putting that voice on in the same way that the joke indicates that British people are. Whereas British people putting in the voice is a horrible burden that they're overjoyed to throw off when they get home and can talk normal like us. I think if you can speak Aussie and like pass,
say Smoko.
Yeah, if you can do that, like that's so you're fucking like set.
Macca's is McDonald's. Did you know that?
Yes.
Macca's. I don't even know if it's ER. I think it's A.
It's A.
Macca's.
Which is crazy because it would be Mac O's based on everything else. Again, this is just it's one of those like non-standard things, like the silent.
It makes
K.
sense. It was a prison colony.
Yeah. Thank you, Holy Mountain Man. We're gonna make more of those games. The ones that are gonna come later are slowly. I mean, they're all gonna be pretty short for a while. Will we ever make a big one? Perhaps. But I think slowly and surely we're going to start actually integrating more of like the mechanics that the engine allows you to do into the game, like skill checks, both active and passive. That sort of implies, will there be stats? Yes. There's also inventories and branching paths and all that bullshit.
And of course, how stupid can we get with a mechanic? Like. Yes, the mechanic is in the game, but can we like goof on it?
Yeah, like every single game that's been made with Nerat, and I don't mean to be dismissive when I say this. These are good games, and this is a good type of game to make. But like legitimately, every game that I have seen published made with Nerat is about lesbians and/or trans lesbians who are animals having trauma happen to them.
Who do you think made the tool?
Well, yes. So we are a counterweight of just like, what if it was just dumb? What if it was just silly, funny? So that's our that's our goal. You can Patreon us at the Patreon website if you want to do that. Another thing I'm going to shill for is that if you're in Chicago in the next couple of weeks, on November 4th, Monday, November 4th at 7 p.m. at Cafe Mustache near the California Blue Line stop in hip and happening Logan Square neighborhood. If you're there, you gotta come because that's when we're doing the Skewer, or the live show that I used to do. The live show that I put on with, I mean, I don't mean to brag, but Chicago literary legend Erica Dreisbach. We haven't done it for 4 years on account of COVID. It's coming back. For one time only, ? We'll see how we feel afterwards. The plan is one time only for right now. And it's good. We're going to be saying fucking jokes and shit. And Joe, you're going to be saying fucking jokes and shit, I understand.
My name is on the poster, so that means you're going to get jokes from me. We also have a hell of a lineup. Just say the name. I think everyone would know.
Everyone knows everyone on this lineup. We got both McHenrys, Tom and Sarah.
This is what power couple means.
Yes. We have Dr. Devin Price, who every therapist loves. It's so funny how every time we mention Devin to someone we know, but like don't talk to all the time, they're like, oh my God, my therapist loves Devin Price. I was like, yeah, I know him. He's like funny. He doesn't like doing jobs. He told me to be worse at my job. He does jokes on my podcast for Sickos. Did you know that? We also have Josh Watkins, the voice of Todd Kill, if you don't recall. He was also the kid from the Austin Powers sketch from Oops All Sketches 2, who turned out to be Timothy McVeigh. Josh is one of the... He's like not online for his health, and thank God for it, because he's thriving, at least as much as possible in this damn world. But
the thing is, even if he's not, you're not seeing him not thrive.
Exactly. But he's like one of the funniest and best writers I've ever met. He's like fantastic. So what a show. Go to it.
Yeah, I'm pumped. I'm pumped. What is there to say?
What is there to say? Go to it. If you can't go to it, I was gonna say eat shit tough, because I did not want to do the work of recording it because it's hard and I don't remember how to do it. And also all the people at Cafe Mustache are different. So all the people I could depend on to be nice to me and help me out without me feeling like a burden are gone.
Hey, I need help, but can you call the guy who used to work here? he and I, we just had like a rapport.
It used to be everyone at Cafe Mustache really liked us because they were fucking there at every show and they thought we were funny. But now it's like reaching out to them and being like, "Can we come back?" And it's like some stranger being like, "I don't know, are you any good?" I'm like, "Oh God." It's been harrowing, but we're gonna win him back. All of which to say, James Medley is gonna do the recording. He reached out and was like, "I'll fucking handle it." And I'm like, "Thank you, King." So it's gonna be recorded. We're gonna put it out. Hell yeah. Enough preamble. Let's get into this show. Joe, I think it's so fucking funny that they're called IRAs.
Yeah, so the cool thing about losing your job is you have to look at all your money and you find out like, oh, that's how it works.
Yeah. Yeah. And also because like you got to roll over your 401k because your job is like, you're not allowed to have anything with our name on it anymore, you filthy fucking beast. Because of this, again, I've spent a lot of time thinking about and reading IRA and saying IRA, and like it's so wild to me that like no one ever acknowledges is like this is like these were the guys who wanted to.
These are the fellas.
like these guys had bombs. Like these were the guys who were like assassinating people. See, one thing about doing all this is that like there's Roth IRAs and there's traditional IRAs, and if I understand, like they're different, right? There's like one's one and one's the other. I can't keep them straight. So what I did, because I didn't know whether to put money in my traditional IRA or my Roth IRA, and so like there has to be like why one's better. I looked up what is the main benefit of a Roth IRA online, and Google said that your money only needs to get lucky once. So that's the main benefit of Roth.
That was such a hard line. We only need to get lucky once. Unfortunately, it wasn't a called shot. It didn't work out Thatcher-wise, but it was a cool thing to say.
It was the most badass thing you could possibly say to Margaret Thatcher. Unfortunately, it retrospectively made them seem dumber.
Unlucky. It made him seem very unlucky.
Yes, it's just like it uses this cold, murderous air of inevitability. Like just because you got out this one time doesn't change a thing, Maggie. Except it did change a thing. She fucking won. She won, and she's still winning.
Yeah, she's actually running heaven now. I got a letter. It's weird.
Every prime minister goes into a big chamber where they have her brain in a jar like Fallout, and they get told, by the way, you just got to do what I say. You're not actually the prime minister. I'm forever now. And they say, oh God, finally, all of my hopes and dreams confirmed. You're still here. Fucking Christ. It's called IRA.
I love those photos of them hijacking the boats, and like the guys on the boats are so pumped because they get the day off now. Like when the IRA hijacks your boat, you don't got to go to work.
Your boss is like, "Oh, sir, why didn't you get any fish today? Why were you slacking off?" And you just be like, "Well, a bunch of fucking army guys who were
fellas stopped by."
Like so there's a bunch of these guys at the pub who I play darts with, and half of them have fucking guns, and they like showed up. That's great. I guess prior to the invention of the internet, that was the closest you could get to the internet at the office is down, where it's just like, I'm free.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, they got me. I can't work today. They said you must take a vacation.
Have you ever been in that situation in real life where the internet at the office is down?
Yeah, it's great because it's impossible. Everyone wants to just say, can we just fucking leave? Can we just fucking leave? Like, everyone wants to just go home, and we should because the productivity tube is clogged. But no, it's excruciating. It's just a bunch of people standing around, and no one has the balls to yell, let's all leave.
I mean, excruciating, I guess that's one way to take it. When it happened to me, it was sort of like, I thought it was so fun. Because you know why it was? It's because I don't have to appear to not be on my phone. That was the real. It's like the huge mind killer when I was in the office is like, obviously I'm on my phone, but like why? Like I have to hide it. I have to be worried.
There's
about,
shame.
Like, someone see.
Like,
yes,
you're disgusted by it. I'm disgusted by it. Yeah.
But this is just like, no, man, you got to be on your phone. What else are you going to do? And I'm just like, fuck you. Fuck yes. Everyone's on their phones. Yes, we win. This is how it should be all the time. Fuck the internet.
So after Tom got back from Spain, he came over to Little Shittily. Mm-hmm. We ran into a bugged NPC, I guess. I don't know what else to say. That's what happened. We were going for a walk, and as we were walking, a very fucked up old car that was covered in tape like turned into an alley, and it almost hit like this older guy who was like crossing the alley. And then we go up to him, and we're like, hey, are you okay? That car almost hit you. And then he just starts listing facts about the car that almost hit him. Like, just talking like the fucking play-by-play.
Yeah.
Not, I'm like, oh, wow, that was close, or I'm upset. It was just like, here are the car facts about this model.
I legitimately, based on his tone and how he chose to discuss that and where he took the topic of conversation, I do not think he noticed that he almost got hit.
It was so close. He had no idea. And
he was like, yo, that's a Cadillac from this year. Really great car. You know, I remember when they were new.
I had one like that, and let me tell you a story about it. And like, it was just like, oh, okay. And then he said, I've never talked to this guy before, and he said the most powerful thing ever to us is, so he just kind of did this awesome lore dump on us. And then he says, anyway, see you boys tomorrow. And then he gives me like a light punch on the arm. And it's just like, fuck. Like,
what does he
get
know?
Hit by a car almost every day?
Does he think that like every time there's two guys that it's us? Because that would be so cool.
He's got really bad cataracts. So it's just like there's two shapes walking on the sidewalk. With the other thing that happened is I had to do some errands. I had to pick up some stuff in the West Loop, and Tom was like, "Oh, I'll drive because I'm blocking you in." And I didn't say you're gonna have a bad time because I knew Tom would complain, and that'd be funny.
Also, I have a bad time every time I'm driving. It'd be ridiculous to say that out loud.
Yeah, but we're in for a thing. So yeah, the West Loop is like it's a great place to get hit by a car that costs more than whatever your life insurance pays out. Mm-hmm. We almost got hit by this like red Lambo or sports car twice from the same direction, meaning it drove around the world.
Yes. It was the Flash running around the entire Earth to hit you again with all the momentum of that. That car reminded me nothing so much. Remember the mini game from Yakuza 7 where you ride around a little bike and you're collecting cans because you're homeless, and you have like a little cargo buggy behind you that fills up with cans as you collect the cans, and then like every once in a while like a car comes through and it just sort of like wiggles around the map randomly, and if it hits you, you lose all your cans. Like that's that in real life, except losing all your cans is becoming a dead fucking guy.
Yeah, he crashes into you and you lose all your points. And then you complained about the roof parking.
Oh, yeah. Oh, because we had to go to Mariano's to pick up your groceries. And, I'm from Chicago, Joe. I don't know if you know this. Chicago and surrounding suburbs, I should say. But I've lived around this area my whole life. My understanding is that when you're in a car, you should not go up an incline fucking ever. And when you are, something went way wrong. Like, I know that what I'm about to say isn't true, but when I was driving up the ramp to go into that Mariano's parking lot, I was like, this is like a 60-degree incline. This is like
you would just
45.
fall backward.
Yeah. I was like, we're driving up this ramp, but I'm really afraid that the front two wheels are going to leave the ground and we're going to fucking flip down. Like, boop, boop, boop.
It's got
like
a turn
slinky.
in there, too. And obviously, there's the other car coming very fast because they want to get out because they hate the roof because it sucks.
Yeah. And then also, you wanted me to go to the places where they bring you your deliveries. Obviously, that would be where we would go because we were getting a delivery. And there they were, but I couldn't go there. I had to go on a crazy little adventure around the parking lot because I had to follow the arrows. And then when I was like backing up to leave, I almost got absolutely destroyed by some car whooshing by. And I'm like, what?
Ignoring those fun little suggestions.
Yes, I was like, what? We could have just gone that way. And you're like, no, that guy's breaking the rules, which is why he almost hit you. And I was like, oh, I love this. And then when we were driving back, there was like some weird construction on our road. And there was like the lanes went in a weird way and there were a bunch of cones everywhere. And you're like, oh, it's just construction. Go there. And you told me to go into the oncoming left lane. And all the cars that were coming right at me started honking extremely loud.
I was trying to get you to build meter because you get meter, Tom, when you drive in the wrong lane.
Yeah, I never activate my burnout. It's so I get no points, dude.
Sicko mode, sicko mode, sicko mode. Sicko mode, sicko mode, sicko mode. Sicko mode, sicko mode, sicko mode. Sicko mode, sicko mode, sicko mode.
This is something I've had in my notes forever, which I will now release into the world, which is when Tom's like really upset at someone, he doesn't have jokes. He's just hateful. It's so fun. I sent him that picture of Elon Musk doing his like Wario jump.
Wow. Yeah, he did the fart move and it shot him up.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, I can't wait to read some zingers from my good friend Tom about how he is jumping in a funny way. And you texted back like 0.001 seconds immediately after with just, I hate this big bitch. Like, it's just like not a joke, just like I just want him to die. Like he shouldn't be around here. Like it's just, and you do that when you're driving too, where it's like, oh, that car acted irrationally. I hope everyone dies in there.
Yeah, I mean, it's not road rage. I'm not angry.
But
like
when
when
wishing them to die.
Yeah, I'm thinking rationally. Like when I see one of those huge lifted killdozer trucks and they drive by me, I just use logical reasoning. It's like, if the person who bought that car died, would that be a benefit for the world? Yes, then I do wish that driver died. I hope they die.
It's just like their bones could be put to better use as like a wind chime or something.
Like just today, they repaved our street a while ago, and just today they put the speed bumps back in. And prior to that, every single day there's this guy on a fucking sporty ass, super hyped up motorcycle who doesn't go anywhere on it. He just does like circuits, and he drives down our little residential street at like 60 miles per hour, and it makes the loudest sound in the universe, and he does this at all hours. And when I saw the speed bumps getting put in, my first thought was like, oh yes, now that guy will hit the speed bump and be killed.
He'll explode on contact with it.
Yeah, it's like, yes, nah, what a good day. I don't know, dude. I mean, some people, I just don't think they got what it takes to be in society. And, you want me to joke about it? Well, this is something I take seriously.
On the Musk subject, I will say I was behind a Cybertruck in real life recently. In a turn lane. I'd seen them passing by or parked, but I've never been like behind one in actual traffic. Mm-hmm. It still looks like shit. But the thing that was very interesting to me is that it was quote unquote hauling something, which is to say there was something in the truck back. Mm-hmm. But the thing was not that big, and it took up all of the available space, making the back seem like a fake truck for jokes.
Yeah.
Which we knew, but the fact that like, oh yeah, you like really can't put it. Like those are oranges.
Like that's groceries. Like a fucking Mini Cooper can take groceries home. That was another thing. Joe, do you remember this? Were you like in the test area for this? There used to be this program in Chicago. They took it away because I guess it didn't make any money. but there were these little fucking smart cars, you know, like the fucking joke cars that look like that are like as big as that yellow and red toy car that goes.
Those are cool because like if you just get a buddy, you can steal one.
Yeah. Well, they had a program where you paid like $10 and you could just like go up to the nearest one on the street and it would just like know your phone was like the one and you could get in and drive it around and then you could just park it fucking anywhere. I mean, as long as it was legal to park there. You could park it anywhere and you just tell your fucking app, like, here's where the car is now, by the way. I'm done renting it. And like that's
just a scooter system, but for smart cars.
Yes, it was a scooter system, but groceries could fit in there. And it was those are some beautiful months, dude. God damn. Anyway, the Cybertruck, everything about it looks like, oh my God, I finally made this connection. My brain has been wanting to make this connection since it was released. Everything about the Cybertruck is very Nokia N-Gage coded. You remember that?
Yes.
Remember the N-Gage?
Yes.
Where the idea looks bad. When it's demonstrated, it looks stupid.
Homie of the show and composer of our theme song had an N-Gage in high school. I know Chuck had an N-Gage. This was like a thing. He was known as the N-Gage kid. I'm not joking.
So then he would know that, much like the Cybertruck, when you get past the ridicule and the stigma, and you actually give it a chance.
Value
it's worse. No, it's worse than. It's worse even than you thought it would be.
Yeah, because you don't play Tony Hawk 2 on a numpad.
The N-Gage looks like shit. The Cybertruck looks like shit. It's the same thing, which is like, what if we radically change every assumption about how this item should look? And it's like, well, some of those
were like load-bearing assumptions that have been there for reasons.
We're the anime sickos, and we're here to say anime is bad in a war crimes way.
So recently, I've been making like a new friend, like an adult new friend. I've been going on play dates. It's the first new friend I've made in like a long ass time. And that's been fun for a number of reasons. One of which is that all of my fucking classic stories are new again. Shit that I could never say to Joe because he's heard it a million times and no longer finds it funny. This motherfucker finds it funny.
I'm too far in the social link. It won't work on me.
Yeah. However, the one downside to that is he's like, oh, so tell me about this podcast you apparently have. What's it about? And I'm like, shit, man. It's called Anime Sickos, but it's not about anime. And normally I would say what it's really about is about anime gaming, posting, and jobs, the four pillars of modern misery. Except that, like, man, not even really anymore because we never watch anime. We don't have jobs. And this is the
It didn't occur to me that part doesn't apply. Yeah, I guess we don't. We don't have jobs.
And we certainly don't do posting episodes anymore. That was the thing, that was our go-to whenever we wanted a big pop. Whenever like, the interest has been low lately. Let's get a fucking pop back.
Let's collect some freaks. Let's laugh at some freaks. But that's not the case so much.
Yeah, no, we don't do that anymore because it used to be that we would generate this sort of stuff naturally by just using Twitter at the pace that we normally would due to our as set by our own natural desire. But I don't really like to look at Twitter so much anymore, and I certainly don't like to collect posts because I don't know if you've been on that fucking website lately, but the only kind of posts that there are now are listing the latest type of guy Israel has burned alive in their bed, which is not very funny.
Yeah, and then like half of all replies are like either actively making an excuse for it or hell yeah. It's just grim. The other thing I kind of come back to is like I don't want to know that like my stupid little joke is going to show up under, it's just I just it's like everything about it just feels so evil. And I know how object permanence works, and this is not like, oh, by not looking at it, I'm taking care of myself. Look, it's the absolute misery is continuing whether or not we look at it. It's just like I can't. I don't know. I can't sit with this. It has really just completely changed my relationship with the phone, where it's just like a huge part of the phone, which is like, oh, I can use this to look out into the world, is just not for me.
Yeah, it's bad, dude. I mean, I get what you're saying about object permanence. It's not as though like, it's not as though you were removing the pain of the big genocide, but like at the same time, it's like if you have like a big fucking open wound, or if you have a burn, if you have a big active burn, you're still not gonna want to like be fucking like slapping.
Stop
it
poking it.
Yeah. Don't poke it.
It's bad. I think you said you were using like whatever clean Twitter or basically an extension that unfucks up everything that has happened to Twitter, which is good. But the issue is that like that's not how everyone else is experiencing it, and like the contents of it reflect how people are experiencing it, which is just like the fact that you get payouts based on blue check, like. It's in your best interest to basically be as inciting and response-inducing as possible.
I mean, like honestly, the meta, if you are like at all smart, what you have to do is you have to have your avatar be like a beautiful lady, and every 30th of the month, when you realize our rent's due tomorrow, you have to make some post that's like, low key, if a man on a date pays for your dinner, you should cut his dick off. Like that is the way to use Twitter. Like that is how you will make your money. And it's no fun.
No, it doesn't help that the worst replies are always on top now. As I said before, Tom has that extension, but like, it's just like you're guaranteed. This is the 1-2 punch now. It's like any post you see, even if it is an objective sort of like this occurred, you are guaranteed to see the worst fucking shit underneath that immediately. Mm-hmm. It's for the reasons we said, because they are. If you have a blue check, you have an incentive to be as insightful with a C as possible.
Yeah, insight. It's fucking bad. I mean, and also like I have the like you said, like you indicated, I have the extension control panel for Twitter, which cuts out a lot of the evil algorithm Elon shit. Mostly, I just see the people that I follow. The problem with that is I follow people who I've known, so I'm not seeing anything new. Yeah, I'm not seeing any like crazy stuff.
The thing is, there will be nothing new good.
Yeah. And the thing is, it doesn't even really protect me, because all of these people that I follow are bleeding heart social justice warriors like myself who wish justice occurred. So
they are
when we learn about the newest type of person that Israel has burned alive in their beds, they retweet being like, I can't believe Israel did this. And it's like, I can. I sure can. I've been seeing it a lot. For me, if I'm going to be burned alive, my bed is one of the last places I'd like that to happen.
That just showed up in my For You tab. I was one of those...
That's for you!
Yes.
That's the word.
It's for
what
you.
An awful implication.
There have also been images from this... I don't know, I was going to call it like conflict, but that's kind of not it.
Kill streak.
Yeah. That like it took, like I did not realize I was looking at gore. Like my brain was not processing what I was seeing. And this was something that just like showed up in my For You tab. And the For You tab is deranged. Aside from that stuff, like it's just pushing the most, again, like they want everyone to be pissed, angry. It's so clearly like right-wing favored. It's not even like subtle. It's just trash. But there is some need to communicate that Twitter has for me that I just need to figure out where I can get that elsewhere, because it's not going to be there.
I mean, here's the thing. We make the funny joke, we make the same tired joke about Bluesky every time, which is it don't got the juice. But as I was mentioning to you before, I don't fucking know. You know how long it's been since I used Bluesky in any real way other than like, do I have any notifications? No? Okay, shutting it down. So it might have a totally identifiable feel and vibe and culture now that's fun and worth using. I'm going to say almost. I'm going to say it's likely that that's the case now, and that it does have the juice. Here's the thing, though. I'm fucking in my mid-30s. I do not wish to, like, spin up a Bluesky account and, like, put in the... I'm just, like, start over. You know what it's like? It's like I love Elden Ring. I love playing Elden Ring. I think about all the I think about Malekith the Black Blade. Ooh, what a fun boss. I'd love to fight Malekith. I think about when you get to Langdell for the first time. Oh boy, now that's great. That's some fine gaming. But like the idea of like, well, Tom, why don't you start a new Elden Ring file? It's like, well, because it takes fucking 30 hours of like scrabbling in the mud to get there. And the first time you do the 30 hours scrabbling in the mud, it's great because you really feel all of your upgrades and all the successes you have and all the ways you get stronger. You feel that. You feel like you earned it. But like I'm past that. Like I'm in the end game, and I can never take myself out of the end game.
Yeah, like at most you can respec, but you will you will not be building from the ground up.
Ask me to go off of Twitter and start using Bluesky as my main social media is like asking me to remove the double jump and air dash abilities from my kit. It's like, no. Like, and it's stupid because like, well, the Twitter, the game in this metaphor is a bad game you hate. So why do you need to double jump and air dash? And it's just like, the fact that you even asked me that tells me you don't understand. Double jumping and air dashing is the most important thing in the world.
Twitter was just, it is, I guess, if you still use it the same way, but it's just like really set up to be the perfect in-between activity for any other activity. It is so dopamine ready. The value offering on Twitter, which is just like, here are posts, and also even if you don't post, you can like, for sure Shaq said this, these things were said, that's gone. And it's never coming back. And like, that was useful.
Dude, have you seen Bob Dylan tweeting, though? Bob Dylan started tweeting himself for the first time, like, a month ago, and it is so fucking funny. Have you seen this? I'm going to open up Bob Dylan's Twitter account and show you, dude, because it is incredible. He is the most, like, 80-year-old man who ever logged on. So, like, prior to this, he's had only, like, his team being like, buy Bob Dylan's box set. Bob Dylan is going to be at this place doing a concert. Buy tickets.
Now Bob's here for real.
His first post as himself is, "Happy birthday, Mary Jo. See you in Frankfurt." 5 days later, he says, "I just found out about the other day that Bob Newhart is gone. Rest in peace, Bob. You brought us a lot of joy." The next day after that, he says, "Last time I was in New Orleans, we ate at Dookie Chase's restaurant on the corner of North Miro and Orleans. If you're there, I highly recommend it." Thank you, Bob Dylan. And then on October 9th, he says, "I ran into one of the Buffalo Sabres in the elevator at the Prague Hotel. They were in town to play the Jersey Devils. He invited me to the game, but I was performing that night." And these are Bob Dylan's tweets.
The thing is, like, Twitter had so much of those. There was more of that. And now it's just, it's scammy. Everybody's grifty. There's a veneer of MLM marketing to everything that's being said. I also don't like this new, like, quote unquote meta where it's like the way people do posts now is like, here's what I learned, a thread.
Bullshit. And you know what I really hate is when podcasts are like, we didn't make an episode, but we do have a shirt you can buy, a video game you can pay us on Patreon to play. It's like, focus on the thing you do best, you know?
Which is do it wrong. We're really good at doing it wrong.
Never been horny. Never been horny. Don't tell the paper that I ever got horny.
So I finally landed on like why I keep reading Kengan Omega, because it's not good. Like
you every time you tell me some Kengan Omega facts, I'm like, sounds like a terrible fucking series. And sounds like bad now.
And like, that's not wrong. It's not. But I've realized my draw to it is because it's like this. So Kengan Ashura is like fucking perfect. I really think it's just a killer manga. It's awesome.
Agreed.
Imagine a man in a room, and he is holding in the palm of his hand like a flaming 2x4. And all around him on the ground is like cotton and like gunpowder. Okay?
Yeah.
And he's going to keep balancing this on his hand. Otherwise, he'll explode and die.
And he's going to be in there for a full hour.
For sure. Kengan Ashura is that guy standing perfectly still with the flaming 2x4 in his palm. There is very little wobble. He is never in danger. Kengan Omega is you get to watch this guy fucking almost drop it for an hour. And like he just keeps almost eating shit. And I cannot reiterate enough that there's gunpowder and like old oily rags all over the floor. And you're like, oh,
he's in a grain silo.
And in this case, the metaphor is the explosion is just like the plot is so fucked that he's like, I'm done. Like, it's over. It is. It's just very uneven, but like it has just. But I'm back in it because you showed me one of the cool guys. It is a hostage situation, and the reason I say that it's because the first Kengan Ashura has no fat. It's like, let me just show you cool guys. It's not a typical sort of like way to do a narrative where it's like the first book is the wiki, and then the following series will not like go into too deep about what happened, but it will mention some things, and it'll just expect that like that these guys are cool. And I feel like it doesn't want to explain itself sometimes. Like it can't be bothered. But the reason I'm in it is right now. Like the new chapter just came out today. It's a fight between Fang and the Filipino guy Dilrondo, who is like he was in you read the Purgatory Tournament, so he was the guy that fought Oma. Like he was like a strong guy that like didn't have a presence in Ashura. He didn't exist, but like he's a star. They put him in there. He's cool because he has the raid fighting style, Tom. He's the raid guy. He does Salat. I don't know how to say it.
Yeah, he does Salat.
Okay, so like, do you see how like it can be dog shit, and then it's like, okay, Fang is now fighting the raid guy.
The raid.
And you're like, okay, fucking fine. And like the other thing I really like about this raid guy is, as you are well aware, Kengan Omega and Ashura has like kind of powers. Like people can do weird shit, like make their brain unleash their muscle limiters or whatever. What's cool about this guy is like all his moves and stuff are not like powers, and like his like in the lead up where he like won, his like kick-ass move he does is he just always knows how to throw elbows from your blind spot, and it's just like that's it. Like that sucks. Like
it's like Beardo. It's like how Beardo doesn't have any powers. He's just the best at this.
Correct. So I don't know what's going to happen. Literally after we're done recording this, I'm probably just going to read the next chapter. But yeah, it's not even, but it is a am I going to see this series eat shit every week is the feeling.
The way you put it to me that I thought was so good is it's Kengan Omega is in that space that you're in when you're playing Mario Tennis and you're in the middle of a volley and you technically haven't lost the volley, but you do have to dive.
Yeah, all
every
movement
time
on both sides is exclusively diving. It's just like that frantic, like this is getting away from us.
Sicko mode, sicko mode, sicko mode. Sicko mode, sicko mode, sicko mode. Sicko mode, sicko mode, sicko mode. Sicko mode, sicko mode, sicko mode.
Listener, you might recall ever seeing at some point a little cartoon, black and white cartoon drawing of a furious, unpleasant little troll man on the street, thinking the phrase, "I hate everyone I see. Look at that asshole." And he is staring at a sort of breezy guy in sunglasses whistling a little tune as he walks down the street. And there's a little box with an arrow pointing to that guy, which says normal guy.
This is an R. Crumb comic. that does not involve a lady's huge thighs crushing his head. This is a different topic for him.
Yeah, so you'd be forgiven for not thinking it was an art crumb, but it is. You said to me once, Joe, that the real goal of life, this is what life's all about, and I think this is why you're going to be a good father to Ivan. As he gets, I mean, you are now, but when he gets to the talking part,
you'll really figure it out. You're really putting in the work. You're not there yet.
There's different stages of fatherhood, is what I'm saying. Anyway, you told me honestly that the point of life is to be the whistling normal guy. The point of life is to not even be aware that there are little toads in the background thinking this shit.
You were born the toad, and you must become whistling guy. Because, like, someone stewing over you and being upset while you are unaware of it, your defense value is insane. You cannot be hurt. It's the most powerful defense. It's like a super counter.
It is, Joe. This is a phrase that is played out and is often emblematic of the opposite being true, which is living rent-free in one's head. When someone says that, when someone like tries to like slam their enemy by being like rent-free, that is the most embarrassing shit on earth. That's like using a cry laughing emoji. It's like, this is the...
Can you believe you're thinking about the thing
man.
We're talking, you fucking idiot?
Yeah, if you are the one who points out that you are rent-free in someone else's head, that means that you are thinking about this 100% of your life. The only way living rent-free in someone's head is legitimate is if, like, you get told, like, did you know you're living rent-free in their head? And you're like, huh, no.
You have to be told that from a third party because...
Yes, if you were aware of it, that's the rent. Like, because you're thinking about it too. Yep. That's the rent.
Yeah. Everybody starts out as the toad guy. Or rather, there are multiple versions of the toad guy in different aspects of life. And you must eventually align yourself to... That guy is trucker-coded, right? Would you say he's trucker-coded?
The guy who's whistling, for sure.
The normal guy, yeah.
Yeah.
The goal is to become not a trucker, but that trucker.
I guess a similar but not quite as pure example is the I'm just trying to grill guy. But that is not pure because that is coded as like saying that social movements and political movements,
like I don't care, your mistake is
justice,
caring. Yeah.
Yes, and it's like though, like that's all though abstract. It's like no. The whistling guy can care about Palestine. The whistling guy can want Medicare for all.
His defense stat is also $1 billion.
Yes. You just like, what are the ingredients of the best days of my life? When I think about days that are just like total fucking wall-to-wall hits, what is happening in them? I'm hanging out with a buddy. I'm walking around to a place. I'm yapping funny jokes with them. We have a little food. Yummy. We go over here. Maybe we play a game. Fun.
You're out of your head.
All of this
is the same reason why games are good. You were able to get out of your head, which is the ultimate crime we have to pay for until we're a corpse. It's just like it's hard to get out of your head. But you know who can get out of his head is whistling guy. Normal guy can do that on a dime.
And the fucking toad? Well, I think it says it all that he's got a thought bubble next to him, which is not to say that like introspection and critical thought,
but he is making no impact on the material world.
Yes. This is why it's so good to make a podcast because we're making an impact.
Yeah, that's it.
This is also why posting fucking sucks now more than ever. Posting is just like, hey, Toad Man, here's the steering wheel to fucking turn me straight into the ditch.
Toad Man has like a financial incentive to continue to be Toad Man. Like he will never stop.
I mean, and when you think about the posting episodes, when we would be like, look at this freak, look at this freak, look at this freak. It is the same thought process as the Toad Man, which is a toxic thing to think. The only difference is that we're not thinking this about a whistling normal guy. We are thinking it about even more foul toads who also are evil. So that's the difference.
Yeah.
So it's still like, it's like okay to do that. I will say that it is a little psychically damaging, but now it's just fucked. Like for the reasons we've discussed. Like now you just can't even find the funny freaks to laugh at. The freaks are just like, the people who I don't think are real should all get killed, and I'm glad that my friend Donald is going to do it when he wins.
Yeah, the computer used to be so much better.
It did. Also, why does John Lennon walk like that?
I hate that picture. That picture pisses me off so much. I don't know why. Okay, I don't know why this infuriates me. I'm not like a please have some decorum type of guy. I'm not, but the silly walk he's doing with Yoko Ono as she laughs, like it's fun, like he's done this before. This is one of his classic John jokes. I hate it. I hate how he's walking, and I hate the look on his face. It infuriates me. On a regular, I've sent you that picture randomly and been like, I hate this. I hate when I see this, because I'll see it online, because someone will post it, because it's like semi-iconic.
And the reason I bring it up is because it's sort of like R. Crumb either did a comic doing this, or John Lennon was trying to be the comic.
Isn't he doing the keep on trucking walk?
Yes, it's that. That's it, yes.
Okay. But I hate it. I just don't like it. I have some respect.
You're an adult, John. People look up to you. This is why they shot him.
I hate how he walks. He needs to be serious.
Oh, God. Anyway, don't walk like that, folks.
And not in front of me.
Walk the normal way. This is why George and Paul are the two best Beatles, because they never did that.
They would never do a silly walk.
Yeah. Ringo's even a silly guy, and he never did that walk.
His name is that of a circus elephant.
I read a fucking did you know fact that there's a Yoko Ono art film that's just John Lennon's hog getting hard, and he stays hard for like an amount of time which is too long.
Oh, like he's supposed to see the doctor?
Yeah. And then at the end he like jizzes unassisted.
Oh, he does a hands-free sitch. That's cool.
Again, it's just like have some fucking decorum. Like crank it. Like if you're gonna fucking jizz, like do some rotations. Like
the ambiguity
honk the hog
is rough. I understand now. Because you're like, I don't know how long I'm gonna be sitting watching this. But if there's the cranking, you have a tempo sort of.
Yeah, and it's just like there's something to look at, you know. Motion, like that's motion picture. It's right in the word. Like people like moving things. I'm not saying that like a film of John Lennon's hog close up sounds especially entertaining, but at least give me something to while away the hours.
But he should have been cranking.
It's happening. He should have been cranking his hog. Yoko's still alive. She could hear this, and this is the kind of feedback that turns a good artist great. So maybe this is. Maybe she's going to be able to use this in her next piece.
The next time you make your hog films,
have them crank the hog.
Please consider this feedback.
Yeah. Anyway, that's all the time we have for Anime Sickos. If you film your own dick...
a lot of people do, is my understanding.
Yeah. If you're going to do that, this is just my artistic suggestion. It would probably be visually interesting to be fucking, like, honking that shit.
Yeah. And maybe wear a colorful glove.
I never would have thought of that, dude. That'd be so... You know what you could do? Is you could wear... I saw a guy in Spain at a jazz concert who had 10 of these on his fingers, and he played a song using them. They're these little plastic thingies, these little cap that you put in your fingertip, and then there's a whistle on the end. And so you would have those. They'd all be a different color. And so, again, color and motion. Cool. And then every once in a while, just take one and go like, doot, 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 doot. And it's just like, you never know when you might hear a funny song in your dick video. All of which is to say, she really did the bare minimum with that. There was so much more you could go for. And I know there's minimalism as an argument, but I just don't feel like if you're being minimalist, you're not pulling out a hog. They're sort of maximalist
You
in
can't
itself.
do minimalism if there's cum at the end. It's not working.
It's not working. Yes, I agree completely. So this has been a 100% like hog-based episode of Anime Sickos, if I remember correctly. I'm just looking back at what we've been talking about, and it's just been John Lennon's dick. That's my understanding. So I've been Tom, an Anime Sicko.
I'm Joe, an Anime Sicko.
We'll see you next time. Next time we're going to rank video game mechanics in a tier list, which we forgot that we started doing. But we remembered. So we're going to do that.
Hell yeah.
All right, bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to Anime Sickos. I've been Tom, a sicko. You can follow me on Twitter at TomHarrison19. Joe is also a sicko. You can follow him on Twitter at Sharia Uncle. You can follow Anime Sickos on Twitter at Anime Sickos or email us at animesickos@gmail.com. Please leave us a review or something. I don't know. Tell a friend. Anyway, until next time, bye.